Hello and welcome to Lancaster Green Ayre. This will be my channel to show the construction of my double O gauge layout based on the old Green Ayre station in Lancaster, but with an alternative timeline. This will be a brief introduction to the station as it was and what I am planning to do on the layout. I will also post exhibition visits and any other railway oriented content on here. Lancaster Green Ayre was opened in 1848 and was the third station to serve Lancaster, the first being built in the Greaves area for the Lancaster and Preston Junction Railway, which opened in 1840. This closed in 1849 after it was superseded by Lancaster's second station, known as Lancaster Castle, which was built by the Lancaster and Carlisle Railway and opened in 1846. This station still serves Lancaster as part of the West Coast Main Line. Lancaster Green Ayre was built by the Morecambe Harbour and Railway Company. The initial line from Green Ayre to Morecambe Harbour was completed first, with the station being connected to the line by a curved bridge spanning over the River Lune. An additional connecting curve to Lancaster Castle was added in 1849. The Morecambe Harbour Railway was eventually taken over by the North Western Railway, which extended the line to Yorkshire, reaching Skipton in 1850. Adjacent to the station, an engine shed and goods facilities were built. The line provided a link between east and west coasts, the area to the east of the station having extensive goods sidings being built. Lancaster's coal-fired power station located further up the River Lune also received its fuel via the line. In 1908, the Lancaster to Morecambe section was used as a test line for overhead electrification, initial voltage being 6.6 kV at 25 Hz. The power being delivered by generators based at Morecambe Harbour, which originally powered the dock cranes and other harbour equipment. Electrification was extended to Lancaster Castle Station, providing a commuter link for stations between Morecambe through to Lancaster and onto the West Coast Main Line. Being a testbed, various designs of catenary were used along the line to find the most appropriate for further electrification projects. The system was shut down for a short period, but reinstated in 1953 at 6.6 kV at 50 Hz. The experimental running of this system helped determine British Rail's ultimate decision to use 25 kV for its mainline electrification. In 1966, the line became one of the many victims of the Beeching Report and closed to passengers, with the station buildings being demolished. The line continued to be used for freight purposes until 1976. The curved bridge across the Lune, which carried the Morecambe connection, was converted for road use in 1972 and still stands today. The shed and goods yard are now a supermarket and residential area. The path of the line can still be followed for as far as Warrington, where it joins the Carford to Leeds line. The length from Lancaster Caton is now part of the local cycle track. The station site itself is now a park with a skate area, and the only evidence of its past is a goods crane from the yard at Hornby, which is a village to the east of Lancaster, heading towards Yorkshire. The layout is set in an alternative modern time where Beeching's axe fell elsewhere, and the station is still open. The shed and goods yard have long gone and have been taken over by the supermarket and housing, as is the current reality. The old coal yard and cattle pens are now part of the current parkland. The link to Lancaster Castle Station is still open, providing the much needed link to the West Coast Main Line. The construction of the layout is a replacement of an original that was built previously on a fictitious location. This layout was however never completed, as there were issues with the board's construction. The boards were 2x1 frames with 3mm MDF tops. This was mainly due to budget restraints. As time went by, the unsupported areas of the board started to sink into the frames. This was really evident when trains were running around. If this were real, then I'm sure the passengers would have been seasick in minutes. I added extra supports in the station area, but realised that I would just end up chasing my tail on the whole layout. There were also some other things that I wasn't happy with, but the poor construction originally was the main reason. It had to go. The tops were replaced with 9mm plywood on all boards, with the exception of those with my wife's farm on. I did not get permission to be demolishing that. The layout is in my attic, which has one size limited due to the access hatch. This was solved last time by building a viaduct in the available space. Last time, I also did not have a fiddle yard, as it was all scenic. This time, there will be one which makes use of the old boards. The station area will be reasonably accurate in terms of size. The branch that goes over the Lune and Hester Morecambe will be a little compressed, as will the river width due to the available space in the attic. The link between Green Ayre and Castle stations will access the fiddle yard by running behind the buildings on the quayside. So that's just an introduction to what I plan to do for the layout. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.